We are creatures of gravity. Every moment of our lives, from our first breath to our last, has been spent under its constant, invisible embrace. It is the force that holds our world together, that keeps our feet firmly on the ground, and that has shaped every aspect of our biology. We evolved within this gravitational field. Our bones grew strong to resist its pull. Our hearts learned to pump blood upwards against its persistent force. We take it for granted, this fundamental constant of our existence, rarely stopping to think about the profound influence it has on everything we are and everything we do. It's a silent partner in the dance of life on Earth. Imagine a universe without it. Stars would not ignite, planets would not form. The very fabric of the cosmos as we know it would unravel into a cold, featureless void. On a more personal scale, gravity is what gives our world its structure and its predictability. It dictates the arc of a thrown ball, the flow of a river to the sea, and the gentle fall of rain from the clouds. This force, born from the very curvature of space-time itself, is not just a feature of our environment, it is an essential ingredient in the recipe of life. We are, in a very real sense, gravity's children, sculpted and defined by its unwavering presence throughout the eons. But humanity is on the cusp of a new era. We are beginning to venture beyond the cradle of our world, out into the vast, empty ocean of space. For the first time in our species' history, we are learning to live and work in an environment where gravity's familiar grip is almost entirely absent. The dream of space exploration, of becoming a multi-planetary species, is one of the grandest adventures we have ever embarked upon. We are leaving the shoreline and setting sail for new cosmic horizons. This journey, however, presents us with one of the greatest biological challenges we have ever faced. How do we adapt to a world without weight? How do we protect the human body, a machine finely tuned for life on Earth, from the disorienting and damaging effects of microgravity? The answer is not simply to endure it, but to overcome it. We must learn to create our own gravity. Life in space looks effortless, even magical. We see astronauts gliding through their modules with a gentle push, tools and instruments hanging suspended in mid-air. But this beautiful ballet of weightlessness hides a far more serious reality. The absence of gravity is a silent and relentless thief, slowly but surely stealing the strength and substance of the human body. Our bones are a perfect example. On Earth, they are living, dynamic structures, constantly rebuilding themselves to withstand the stresses of our daily movements. In space, that load vanishes. The body begins to shed bone mass at an alarming rate, up to 1 or 2% per month in critical areas like the hips and spine. This is a rate of decay similar to that seen in advanced osteoporosis, leaving astronauts with a fragile skeleton vulnerable to fractures upon their return to a gravity environment. The muscular system suffers a similar fate. Without the need to support our own weight, our powerful leg and back muscles begin to atrophy. Astronauts on the International Space Station must exercise for more than 2 hours every single day, using specialized resistance machines just to slow down this relentless process of decay. The cardiovascular system can weaken. Fluids shift upwards, causing a puffy face and putting pressure on the eyes, which can lead to vision problems. So how do we solve this fundamental problem? The answer lies in physics, in recreating the force that we have left behind. The leading concept is to use rotation. Imagine a large, spinning structure, perhaps a giant wheel or a pair of modules connected by a long tether. As the structure spins, everything inside it is constantly being pushed towards the outer wall. This outward pushing force is known as centrifugal force. To a person standing on the inside of the rim, it would feel indistinguishable from gravity. The faster the structure spins or the larger its radius, the stronger this artificial gravity would be. This idea is not new. The Russian scientist Konstantin Tsiolkovsky first proposed the concept of a rotating space station as early as 1903. Since then, it has become a staple of science fiction, from the Discovery 1 ship in 2001, a space odyssey, to the massive O'Neill cylinders envisioned as entire worlds in space. There is another way to create gravity. It comes from one of the deepest insights into the nature of the universe, a revelation from Albert Einstein himself. Einstein realized that the effects of gravity are completely indistinguishable from the effects of acceleration. This principle opens up a second pathway to artificial gravity. Imagine a tall, skyscraper-like ship with its engines at the bottom and its living quarters stacked in floors above. As the ship fires its engines, it pushes forward through space. For the people inside, this constant push would feel exactly like gravity. It would be constant, uniform down throughout the entire ship. This kind of gravity would have none of the strange side effects of a rotating world. Pouring a cup of tea or taking a walk would feel perfectly natural, exactly as it does on Earth. A ship accelerating at constant 1G would be a true interplanetary express. A journey to Mars could be completed in just a few days. A trip to the outer planets could be cut down to weeks. The grand vision of the torch ship runs into a brutal wall of mathematics. This wall is known as the Tsiolkovsky rocket equation. For every little bit of extra speed you want to gain, you need to carry a lot more fuel. For a constant 1G acceleration mission, the numbers become truly mind-boggling. Even with fusion drives, the ship would be less of a skyscraper and more of a gigantic fuel tank with a small cockpit attached. This is the tyranny of the rocket equation. Beyond spin and thrust lies a far more profound idea. What if we could learn to generate gravity directly? This is the ultimate dream of gravity control. According to Einstein's general relativity, gravity is a curvature in space-time caused by mass and energy. The goal would be to warp space-time locally without needing a planet-sized mass. A gravity generator could produce perfect uniform 1G field without any rotation or acceleration. This technology would be the ultimate solution. In quantum mechanics, every fundamental force has a corresponding particle. The hypothetical particle for gravity is called the graviton. Finding it is one of the greatest challenges in modern physics. Because gravity is so weak, gravitons would interact so rarely that they are almost impossible to detect. If we could isolate and manipulate gravitons, a gravity generator might work like a laser produces coherent photons, creating gravity on demand. When we map these approaches onto a timeline, a clear picture emerges. Each method belongs to a different era of technological capability. The immediate future belongs to spin gravity. It's the only approach grounded in mature technology. The first steps will be experimental, lab-sized centrifuges, followed by tethered systems. Looking further ahead, the dream of the torch ship may become reality. This future is contingent on a revolution in propulsion, fusion rockets, or even more advanced drive systems. The far future is the domain of breakthrough physics. This timeline is undefined, depending on sudden, unpredictable breakthroughs in fundamental science. When we place the methods side by side, rotation stands out for one critical reason. It works with technology we already have. This makes spin gravity the most pragmatic and achievable option. These three paths are likely sequential chapters in the same story. Our quest will begin with the slow, steady turn of a spinning wheel, giving us the foothold to develop revolutionary engines and perhaps unlock gravity's secrets. As we stand today on the precipice of a new spacefaring era, it is the humble, spinning centrifuge that holds the most immediate promise. The path of rotation is the path of pragmatism. We can chart a clear, step-by-step course towards it, starting with small-scale experiments. We could move to a bowler-style ship for the first crewed mission to Mars, providing the crew with constant partial gravity, significantly reducing the toll of weightlessness. This leads us to the grand vision of great wheels and cylinders, permanent orbital cities with their own ecosystems, representing the ultimate expression of spin gravity. The coming decades may well be remembered as the centrifuge century, the era when humanity first learned to conquer weightlessness by embracing the simple, reliable physics of spin. The creation of artificial gravity is more than just an engineering solution. It represents a fundamental shift in our relationship with space. Without it, we are merely visitors, limited to short excursions. With artificial gravity, everything changes. The physiological barriers to long-term space habitation fall away. This would transform humanity into a truly multi-planetary species, allowing genuine self-sustaining communities where people could live their entire lives in space. It would allow us to build permanent cities in orbit, on the Moon, or on Mars, opening up the solar system not just to elite astronauts, but to ordinary people, scientists, engineers, artists, and families. Ultimately, artificial gravity is our insurance policy for long-term species survival. It gives us the ability to build cosmic lifeboats that could carry humanity safely through any catastrophe. This is the grandest vision, carrying the light of life and consciousness outward into the solar system. It is the tool we need to break our planetary chains and take our first real steps toward a cosmic destiny. For more than a century, the dream of creating gravity in space has been a cornerstone of our science fiction, inspiring generations of scientists, engineers, and dreamers. Today, we find ourselves at a remarkable moment where these fantastical ideas are migrating from fiction into the blueprints and laboratories of our space agencies. The journey from fiction to fact will require global cooperation and long-term investment, rivaling the greatest projects in human history. It will be a multi-generational effort. Our quest for artificial gravity is about more than technology. It reflects our most basic human impulse, the drive to explore, overcome limitations, and build a better future. We are a species that looks at the vast darkness between stars and sees not an empty void, but a frontier filled with promise. By learning to create our own gravity, we are not just building machines. We are building new worlds. We are taking the first definitive step in transforming ourselves from a terrestrial species into a truly cosmic one.